The maps are in. Summer 2019 map contest was a great success at Warcraft II USA. We had a lot of entries to this contest, far surpassing my expectations. We had Morius, Prince Valiant, myself, Nedro, Death Knight, Captain Pollution, Easy Company, Ring 62, Inkos, Frontliner, Lord Varas, and Lord Varas and Sir Plentiful Duo all bring us some cool, fun new maps to try out. I'm very excited to be playing on a bunch of exciting new maps, and I know the people at Warcraft II USA are thrilled as well. So taking a look at some of these maps, we have a continent between from Morius. We have kind of a larger landmass and then two in the corner. It's an interesting concept. Of course, it's more fair if you have both people starting in the middle or both people starting on an island. So you have to do some kind of fixed order or something. Because of course if someone starts on the middle island with all this gold and someone starts over here on random start like we usually do, it can be a bit unbalanced because the big island has a lot more gold and it's easier to defend than it is to do something from the small island. But I have tried this map a couple times. The worst one was when I played against Lord Varas and I forget who his ally was, but my transport full of grunts sunk. That's somewhere in my old streams. Morius also made colonies. This one I have yet to try. It looks something like the last map, only instead of an island in the top and an island in the bottom, it's kind of split 3 ways instead of 2 ways. But this is also something I have not seen before. I have not seen this map concept before. So it's a cool original idea and I am excited to play that in the future. 9 of Square. I have played 9 of Square a number of times, and in spite of the simple looking concept, it is actually quite an interesting map. The games have been fun and I am drawn to play this one again. It is a little reminiscent of Stir Crazy, but altogether a different game. There is only one area for expansions if you have a full game, so if you have 8 players, the only place to expand when your mine runs out is in the middle. Now if it's 2-on-2 or 3-on-3, then you're going to have a few extras there, but that is a pretty cool map and it looks just beautiful and perfectly designed and symmetrical and geometrically pleasing. Islands of War, also from Morius. We have, this one I played against Ring, I believe, 1-on-1. I don't think I've played it other than that game. We have 3 islands, each with 3 gold mines, so I think this would work well. I personally enjoy neighbor wars like you have with Paradise Lost, where you start with 2 people per island. I love neighbor wars. So that always adds an extra element of excitement for me to any map where you can battle it out with your close neighbor. This is Thread of Destiny. It does have the option, I believe, to have computer units guarding the extra expansions if someone chooses to play it on that setting. You have kind of your start spots in the perimeter of the map. I think I did start in the middle at one point, but I do think that changed, having a start spot there. I don't think there's a start spot in the middle anymore. I'd have to double check on that because there were some updates made to the map. Like map makers are often going to update their maps to try to, you know, make them the best that they can be. Prince Valiant. This is Abysmal Lake. There's a lot of water on this map, even more than on High Seas Combat. It looks pretty symmetrical. So I suppose some other program that I don't have was used to help create these maps because they are very symmetrical by the quarter, so each quarter of the map looks like the other quarters exactly. So you have 4 island corners, and these look like a tiny expansion with a little wood on it. There's a few little decorative islands here. I'm not sure why this wouldn't look identical to the others, since the rest of the map looks pretty identical. Or is that from Warmaker? Which I do have. I do have Warmaker. Also from Prince Valiant, we have the Cold Place. Looks like 4 corner start spots, and then you have, it looks like you can't pass through here. So you would have to build air or ships, and then ships again. No, you wouldn't actually, because you can reach everybody else. Once you get to here, you can reach everybody. No, you can't. Just this section. Anyways, it looks like it would be a little bit hard to play because you might not have a ton of space in the corner here. But once you got to this area, then you can go all around the map, it looks like. Except not to the corners, you'd have to get there by boat or sapper. Because I don't think this little section is passable by land units. But again, it's something I've never seen. And I definitely will try that out sometime in the near future. There's a cool middle shape here. Something like a spider or a star, depending on how you're looking at it. You have the gold mines kind of here. Like, there's no gold in the corners, which is not typical, and there's no gold in the middle, which is not typical. Usually you have the corners and the middle have gold on a lot of maps. There are little puddles if you want to make boats in those little puddles. You might even be able to juggernaut somebody else's gold if you went to the puddle and built ships in there, if somebody really wanted to do that. I do plan to try out all of these maps eventually. This is the warm place, so that was the warm place, and then this next one is the warm place 2. Must be very cold where Prince Valiant lives for him to be fantasizing all these warm places. I too love warm places. Bring me sun, bring me beach, saunas, hot tubs, I love all those. So we've got a little cross kind of shaped lake in the middle. I don't see any oil on that one, so if somebody did want to do boats, although the boats can't really reach or anything or go anywhere, so it's more for decoration, I would think. We've got some expansions here. And again, it's interesting that you have these large middle, like corner spots, I mean, but there's no gold in there, so there's nothing really to go to in there. So it's almost like the actual playable section of the map is this cross-shaped segment in the middle. Yeah, I definitely have to try all of the maps. Wasted Place. Okay, this looks like a really hard map to play too, because you can't really get anywhere very easily. It's tricky to get somewhere, so you'd have to do some tedious chopping from place to place. Maybe it's not. Maybe you can get around here. Not sure if you can fit through this hole, but you could probably chop through there and then through here. So yeah, you probably can traverse it. But again, I've never seen a map that looks like this ever, so it's original and fresh. There seems to be that same kind of symmetry where you have the little pond in the corners and then all the same little dots. Or at least they're pretty close of where the little dots are in a rock circle, but you can get by it. But yeah, I think a lot of people would want to go air on this map just to be able to get places more easily. Because going through this middle section, that's a lot of chopping. And these are the ones I made. There's one shaped like a hand. We've played this one. I actually like the way it plays. I think it's pretty cool. Until these maps that I made, the maps I made used to be awful. Super duper awful. So this is one of the first map creations that I made that is actually somewhat playable. I have fun on it anyways. That's called The Hand. And this one is Drowning Forest. I wanted to make one that has limited wood on each start spot, so every one of the start spots has just limited lumber. That's why I called it Drowning Forest, because you're going to be hopefully running out of trees, and then you might have to go to some of these expansions that have only lumber. Some people hated it. I don't remember who said that it was the worst map they've ever seen. Maybe Megalodon, but maybe I shouldn't say that in case it wasn't him. But that's what I was going for when I was making maps initially, is trying to go for some kind of concept that hadn't been done before, or that at least feels fresh and new. But I think that some of the more like generic types of concepts seem more playable than trying to come up with something like that. This is Lamb Chop's birthday map. Yeah, you can. Some people didn't notice that there's like a cake and balloons and presents until later, and a little party hat. By the way, Dr. Orc started in here, and I accidentally forgot to put more gold than it was still at 1500. So he started in the worst spot with the least space, I think in between enemies, with only 1500 gold. No, sorry, 15,000 gold, which is I think less than everybody around him, and he still managed to win that game. So annoying. So amazing. Both. This is Daisy Chain. Okay, this is not actually the most recent, this is not the most updated version of the map, because since this one I actually added trees in here. And the reason I did that was because if you go to expand over here, like if you almost died and then you just survive and go to expand into the corner flower-shaped islands, if you have no lumber, like right now there is no lumber, you can't actually do anything. So I added lumber here, 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 and down here, so that it is actually a viable place to continue to survive in the game. You start off in here, and I do admit that I took the idea from Equinox's, what's it called, Fight for the Middle, as kind of the starting point for this map, and then I wanted to expand it so that there's more game to play even after the initial thing, because I remember there was one game where people could have continued fighting if there was just more gold, so people ran out of gold and they were just stuck in their little hole and there was nothing more. So I really like the idea that you can have more to the game after the initial gold mines run out and just continue to play if there's more game to play, and people are still surviving and holding on to their bases. People have liked this map, like PBR, and I think a number of Ring like this one. I like this one. This is not an exactly original concept, this like middle type of thing, like even All You Need is kind of the same idea where you have all the start spots pointing towards the middle, although in this one there is a gold in there. But yeah, I think the goal should be to make maps that are playable and fun, and not necessarily things that are original concepts. This one is called Dreamscape. The last one was called Daisy Chain. This is Dreamscape. There are like a number of little pictures in here. And this is a map that is very complex, and it's kind of tricky for first-timers to play. There's a lot of interesting layouts. Like you look down here and you see that there's like this narrow pathway. So like you could technically come in here and like do a chop down here and then tower this gold. And there's an extra expansion here. And there's like these long pathways here and here that are narrow enough that you could actually seal, like you could seal it in different places. There's a lot of places on the map where you could put walls. And there's a lot of different sections, like okay, up here, I didn't even know about this. Like I played this map a number of times, but I never really found this or played this in game so far. But looking at this map, I see that like, yeah, here's another option for an expansion. You'd have to do a little chopping, but you could wall this off and go in there. But I really enjoy the complexity of this map, that there's a lot there, there's a lot of options and a lot of different things you can do. It looks very artistic. Here's another one with like a long tunnel to get to this expansion. I don't think I ever made it in there either. Not that I remember. The open areas of the map tend to get run around on a lot. And then there's these kind of like secret places that I still have yet to discover in actual game. And again, very cool. Death Knights. This is called Graveyard D&E. Oh, this one was Winter Storm. This is called Graveyard D&E from Death Knight. This is the first map I've ever seen Death Knight make, so I'm very happy that he has created a work of art for Warcraft II's future. It's very exciting. We did play this game. You actually start with sapper factories if you don't click one peon only start, and then you can like sapper the different rock walls and stuff. It's a little reminiscent of Zones where you have the nine kind of places like tic-tac-toe, but it's also completely different. Like especially with the rock walls between the spots and the sapper factories and everything. So that's Graveyard. I think I'd probably also want to try it without the sapper factories just to see how it plays differently than with them. Captain Pollution. We have maze rivers. So there's a lot of islands. This one I think I have yet to play this one. I don't remember playing this one yet. But I like maps that have a lot of islands. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of Rivers, where you have kind of a lot of islands that are in different places. But it's like a new and fresh layout. You also have some of these rock walls, probably more for decoration than anything else, because they don't seem to actually be blocking the islands or separating them fully. I think you can get by there. Looks like there's enough room for a peon to walk by. But yeah, another one that I need to try. Expansion Masters. Now this one isn't completely brand new, but I didn't exactly put a date when the maps have to be made after, so I guess recent can be interpreted in different ways. This one is interesting. It has a pizza in the middle. Pizza seems to be another popular concept for War II maps, and it seems to work pretty well a lot of the time. It makes for, you know, playable and interesting games. You have a lot of expansions in the edges. The gold mines are larger than average. I think they're like 70k or something. So you don't actually need to expand as early as you do with many other maps. This one I have never yet played, but there sure is a lot on it. Okay, there's all kinds of units and stuff on it, so I think this is if you play on use map settings, I think you can make it like so that you're fighting against computers, and the computers seem to have like quite a lot of stuff on the map. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff to try still that I have not tried yet. I don't think I've played this one yet either. This is called No Hope Winterfield. Oh, the last one was called Death Island X. No Hope Winterfield. Captain Pollution has kind of a style, like his maps, it's hard to describe what it is, but there's like a certain artistic quality that where you can say, okay, this map was made by Captain Pollution just because of the way that everything looks. So you can cross these ice bridges, so it is all connected by land. There's oil here if somebody wanted to do boats, but only in this lake. But yeah, again, this looks like a completely brand new map. I have not seen this map ever before. It seems like the possibilities are endless for maps. And that is what Captain Pollution also said. He said that creating Warcraft maps is like art to him. And I do see this kind of like that there is a lot of attention to detail, and the way the map looks, like it's very artistic looking when you look at it. They look beautiful. So this one reminds me a little bit of Bridge to Bridge combat, only it's completely different as well. But just how you have like these little segments where you can only go certain ways. But yeah, I definitely want to try this one in the near future too. I want to be playing through all of these. It's exciting. Swamp of Rage, this one is called. This is from Easy Company. The map is called Domino. We did play this one already one time. And He-Man chose to have an ally other than Ring, and Ring, I think, killed 2 people. So then it was just everybody against He-Man. Because it was 3-on-3. But yeah, definitely want to play this one again. I would like to see these corner gold mines actually used. So in a way, I guess the corner start spots have a little bit of potential advantage if they have this expansion gold, but then these guys have this gold to go to. It's a unique map from Easy Company, and Ring said he made this map in under 10 minutes. And it plays surprisingly well. We've played this one probably more than most of the other maps. And it's really fun to play. It's just like a little close, like, neighbor wars in all directions kind of map. It's really fun, actually. It's kind of annoying that someone can make such a fun map in less than 10 minutes. Because I used to spend a fair bit of time on my maps and they sucked so bad. My older maps are just awful. I should post. Still have yet to post some of those on the website. I was planning to do that. This is Blood Moon from Inkos. It's a little bit of a smaller map. It does have watcher spots available, so it's like a one-on-one, but you can have some watchers in the game. We've been getting kind of a lot of big 8-player maps, which is really good because those are the most popular ones. The 8-player maps get played more than anything else because most of the time we have full games. And even we have more people than can fit in the games wanting to play. So it's nice to have some smaller ones. I know More Use also made some new smaller maps, which are really cool looking. Frontliner 2, this is Arctic Archipelago. Now this has an interesting starting concept which I really enjoy. Everybody starts with a peon and transport in the middle, so you can choose your own island. This one deserves to get played a lot more, for sure, because we've done it a couple times. At least I was a spectator. I was not always playing because sometimes the teams were uneven or I was eating or something. But I do enjoy the concept of having a transport at the beginning where you can go to your own island and then you can like right away get like grunts and go attack somebody, or you can like expand early to another island. It's there's a lot of cool options when you start with a transport right away. And then Bloodbath, we played this one recently. I thought it was pretty easy to get around, but Ring complained about getting lost in the woods. I don't think there's any woods you can really get lost in, because they're all pretty open. In some areas you have to chop before you can stick a haul in. Like if you look at this gold and this gold, you kind of have to do some chopping before the gold mine is easily accessible, other than the one you start at. I thought it was pretty fun. I'd play that again. Then we have Lord Varos's Europe. I feel like it's an advantage to start on the continent, because even though you start with a pretty small space, you can still chop your space to get bigger, and then you also have more gold mines to expand to from there, although I don't know if anybody's ever going to chop all the way to that one. That's a lot of chopping. But some of these expansions are pretty small, but you can tell there's Italy. There's like a boot right there. My European geography is so bad that I could not tell you which countries are which. But I do think this is Italy, and this is what, Sicily, and Spain, Portugal, what is this, Germany or France? Man, I'm embarrassing myself now because they're probably all wrong. And then like England and the thing next to England. Yeah, I should review my European geography because it's pretty rough. So that's from Lord Varas. And then this is South America from Lord Varas and Sir Plenful. This one we have yet to try. For some reason, this one, I think this one looks like it might be more fair in terms of like nobody's going to be starting off on some separate island while others start on the continent. It looks like everybody starts on the continent and everybody has a similar amount of space. Yeah, I definitely have to try South America next time Lord Varas is on. So that is all the map entries from Summer 2019 map contest. I'm going to be playing through these maps in the next few weeks as much as possible, and then I'm going to set up a vote so we can choose the community's favorite. The vote will go up September 17th, and it will be up for a couple weeks. So people can vote for their favorite new map. So I would like to thank all the people who made maps: Morius, Prince Valiant, myself. Thank you to myself. Nedro. Nedro's made a lot of great maps in the past. Death Knight, Captain Pollution, Easy Company, Ring 62, Ingos, Frontliner 2, Lord Varas, and Sir Glenful for entering maps into this contest. It is so wonderful to see so many people bringing new things to the table of Warcraft 2. That's one of the things I love about this community. The Warcraft II USA community is open to new maps. People are creating new maps. People are playing new maps. If you look at the streams on Twitch at twitch.tv/War2BabyShark, you will see these maps being played. You'll see old maps being played. You'll see that we love map variety. That keeps it really fresh and exciting and interesting. As opposed to playing Garden of War over and over and over again, day after day, having only one single map that you play. Yeah, we play Warcraft 2, not Galcraft, but I think people who don't play a variety of maps are really missing out because there is so much more to Warcraft 2, so many more possibilities and opportunities for greatness. But anyways, yeah, it has been just awesome, Warcraft II USA, and just the community and the support and all these new maps. It's just overwhelming. I'm so thrilled and grateful for what Warcraft II USA has become and is continuing to become. So thank you everybody, and please check back September 17th to vote for the maps and be showing up on Warcraft II USA server to be playing these new maps. So thank you to everybody.